Hello, everybody. My name is Ryunn Eldred, and welcome to the Nerdgasmic Goodfellas presents the Drinking Corner. I am your host today. I am here accompanied by the BossFoss.
Hello.
And J Dog. Awoo. I like
mate.
doing the little awoo. Aw, the little cling was a nice touch. And together we are going to reminisce on the past as we talk about summer days, since we are now in the what could we say, like the first half of summer. Yeah, I forget what day summer actually starts.
June 21st.
You okay there?
So this is a slight sidetrack. Do you want me to go ahead and say it?
Segue it. Let's segue it right at
So
the
as you
start.
know, I am a college student. I go to San Jose State, and you're required to have this app. It's called Sammy. It's named after the mascot. Well, the student body can message each other on the app, and I get notified anytime there's a really popular conversation. And the thing that just popped up, just literally buzzed, is somebody says, "Who's willing to send some armpit hair? It's for an experiment. It's not like I'm going to floss my teeth with a heart emoji."
Well, on that note, boss, how are you today? How have you been?
I'm good. I'm decent. I'm alive. 3 different stages there. I'm okay. I've been busy all day today. I was helping a friend move houses, and yeah, just living the dream as a white person. Drinking water today.
Did I hear you right?
Living the dream. It's a white person saying, apparently.
Ah, okay, I did hear you right.
Yeah.
J Dog, how you doing?
I heard that too.
I stopped and I was like, did he just say that?
I did, yes. I may have also drank a little bit before we started.
J Dog, how you doing today?
Meh.
Meh. Meh. Well, if you're doing meh, I'm just gonna preemptively give you a point. Make your day a little better.
I don't get a point for. Damn. I see how it is. Keep the white people down. As soon as I said that, my fucking chair back came unlocked and I started falling backwards again.
So
I'm sorry.
To join you in the meh club, John, I'm also feeling meh. I've worked now 8 days straight as of recording, and quite possibly by the time this goes out, I still will be in the continuous days straight of working without a day off, and it's horrendous, and I'm tired mentally. Other than that, I just watched and finished the Paramount Plus Halo series, which was really good. I liked it. John, you're the only one here out of us that's seen it, right? You haven't seen it, David?
No, I have not seen it.
All right, so let's talk about some spoilers. No. But it was pretty good. I look forward to it. The next thing I want to watch on Paramount is the South Park COVID and post-COVID and streaming wars part 1 and 2.
Oh, jeez.
So that way I could catch up on that because I love South Park. But yeah. Since I'm on the topic of
second post-COVID when they're adults.
Yeah.
One of the best South Parks I've ever seen, dude.
I saw clippets of it and I was laughing my ass off while scrolling through Facebook. So I'm really excited to see it. And then the streaming wars, like the only thing I've seen on it is the fact that Cartman now lives in a hot dog shack. So I'm like kind of curious to see what the fuck's going on there. But speaking of Halo, to give a bonus point right now to both of you guys, what show would you like to what game series would you like to see a live action adaptation to?
Game series?
Yeah. Since I was surprisingly shocked at how good the Halo series was, even though it doesn't follow the games a lot. There's a lot of nods to the games, but it's its own story. And I like at first I was kind of apprehensive on it and didn't think I was gonna
I got
like
one.
it.
Assassin's Creed. Now I understand
Wasn't
that they did a
Netflix
movie.
I was like, wasn't Netflix supposed to do one?
They might be, but you know, you could do every season being a game, and you got
Or a
11.
whole other like every season be a different type of era.
Well, yeah, that you could do that too. But if you're wanting to actually follow, you know, the game,
The game.
quote unquote, be like the first season actually be Assassin's Creed 1, season 2 Assassin's Creed 2.
That'd be actually pretty cool because like so obviously Desmond in Assassin's Creed, they use the same character model for him for like when he plays himself and then when he's Altair, Ezio. And it's the same character model for the first 3 games. They just change up his look a little bit. So it'd be interesting to see the character like visibly look different when he's like Desmond Miles and he kind of has that normal newer look, and then when he goes into Altair, he's more Middle Eastern looking and everything.
Trying to think what number it's on. Season 5 would be Assassin's Creed 3.
Unless you just bundled all of Ezio's story into one season.
Yeah, but there's a lot of details they'd be skipping over. Granted, I think Brotherhood's a bit more skippable.
I was gonna say Brotherhood is a little more skippable. You could do Brotherhood in like 2 episodes flat.
And then to make it a little bit more interesting is season 6 be from a first person perspective when outside the game. Or make the entire thing in first person.
Make it interactive. What if it was one of those interactive shows?
Netflix interactive shows.
Sorry.
Oh.
What
John,
about
do you
you?
have a game series?
I'd like to see a Life is Strange show.
Bro,
I think that'd be very interesting. I only played the first one, unfortunately, but you know, here soon I'd like to get more into the prequel and
the Before the Storm. And... did you know that they actually remastered Before the Storm and the first game?
Really?
Yeah, they put it out as a double set. You could get both of them together and they're both remastered.
Oh, cool.
If you had bought the newest one, True Color, was it?
Yeah, Life is Strange True Color. Is it the 3rd or 4th? Because they also have that spin-off one.
Well, so it went Life is Strange Before the Storm, Life is Strange 2, and then this newest one. So this would be number 4.
Yeah, but they also have the Captain Marvelous or whatever that also takes place in the Life is Strange.
That was like a prequel to
2, I believe. I was like, I have it somewhere here in my library.
Yeah,
but that's the point.
I forget the name of that one.
That's a really good one. That was a really good one. I wasn't expecting that one from you.
Yeah, when the first one came out, I played a demo of it because it advertised it on the home screen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I played the demo, dude, and I wound up buying it as soon as it came out.
Isn't Square Enix the one that make it?
I think they publish. I don't know who the.
I'm not sure, but I like the fact that they use like painting art in the game. Yeah, and I think that would be cool to see.
True Colors is the newest one. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one. I think it'd be cool to see how they did a show, you know, if they would use that kind of reference from the game. And not
I
just
think it
make
would be pretty cool and a very artistic style choice.
Mhm.
Or
Do
any
it
of you
live
guys,
action, but at the same time, artistic.
The developer is called Don't Nod.
what's that? It has Robert Downey Jr. and Keanu Reeves, and it's a movie that they did like that where it was live action,
Yeah,
but it had the
yeah,
artistic like film grain to it.
That's funny you say that because I was gonna mention that, but I cannot for the life. It's a weird name, but I cannot remember the name of that.
They did one with
It's
Justin
got a
Long
lot of good
too.
actors in it.
But are any of you guys familiar with American McGee's Alice games?
Yeah,
The,
I played a little bit of it.
the
So American McGee's
the
Alice.
gory ones,
Yeah,
the mature.
it's the like demented twist on Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Is it really though, or are we just not remembering the original Alice in Wonderland correctly?
I don't even know the original Alice in Wonderland because I never read it nor watched the original movies. Wow. I've only seen the Tim Burton. I know. I'm sorry.
You're missing out, dude. That's a good one.
Are you talking about the book or the movie?
The Disney cartoon.
Oh,
I'm saying he's missing out because he has not seen the cartoon of it.
I was like, yeah, I've only seen the Tim Burton ones.
That's amazing. I love that show.
All right. Well, let's jump into the main theme of today, which is, again, talking about summer memories, since we're here at the beginning of summer break for us school people or just in general, the summertime.
Summertime.
It's still fairly the beginning, okay? It's only been
we are really rounding out, like we're probably in the middle.
Okay, you know what? John down here, John said summer begins June 21st.
It's July 15th.
Okay, it's been a couple weeks.
It's John, been almost a month.
John, be the tiebreaker. Where are we at in summer?
I think it is.
Like, if you're going off of the actual first day of summer, then sure, we're like 3 weeks in. But if we're going off of the school year,
no, we're going by seasonal.
Seasonal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seasonally,
we're not even halfway through. Oh no, yeah, I get fall because we have fall before winter, so September.
Does California really have a fall though, or is it just?
Does California have a winter?
Summer?
We have year-long summers with a chance of rain.
Yeah. Not our part of California, that's for damn sure.
All right, either which way, we're here to talk about some good old summer days and summer nights as we look back on fond summer memories. I will, of course, jump in first with the Tale of the Dead Body. That is the title for my summer memory here.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this. I remember.
Yeah, I've talked to both of y'all about it. So picture the early 2000s. I was about roughly 6 to 10 years old, somewhere in that age group. I can't quite remember how old I was.
That's a big range there, though.
That's a 4-year range. But we used to do a family vacation to Lake Almanor every summer where we'd take the boat out. I'd bring like one of my friends and we'd go out and go camping for a week. It was a family tradition, really fun. And we'd always get the same camping spot every year. This year we had this guy that was across from us that was he would get drunk every night and he was kind of very loud, obnoxious, yelling a lot. And on our last night staying at the campgrounds, this dude's just full on yelling, and you could see him like throwing a human figure around, like yelling, being semi-violent with it. But our family was just like, don't get involved. He's drunk. It's our last night here. Just everybody try to go to sleep. So we go to sleep. We wake up bright and early the next day. The dude, he's like cleaning up his campsite. He's about to like sleep it off, whatever. So we're going through, we're packing up our tents, we're cleaning up, and I was on trash duty. So I'm gathering all these trash bags and all this other junk to go throw away to the dumpster. And I'm like my little preteen self carrying a bunch of trash bags over to the dumpster. That's obviously too high because my family is just a family of short people. And I lift up that lid and I go to swing the trash bag in, and all I see is blonde hair sticking out from under some bags. And I was like, oh, that's peculiar. So I go and I like grab the hair and go to move it, and I can see what's like of a forehead. And I just drop everything and start screaming hysterically, like flipping out because I see a body buried under trash in a dumpster. I start screaming, I'm crying. My mom's like, what the fuck's going on? So she runs over and she sees it. My mom also starts panicking. So we call the cops and everything. Like, we have cops that show up at the campground site. All the campers are gathered around. And it's like, I'm hyperventilating. I'm freaking out. The cops go in and they pull out this body looking form of a sex doll that somebody threw away in a dumpster. That I had a complete panic attack. And it turns out the guy that was drunk across from us threw it away in the middle of the night when we were sleeping. And he fessed up to it in front of the entire campsite. And it was embarrassingly funny. And that is one of my summer memories of when I thought a sex doll was a live person dead in a dumpster.
That's
I
traumatizing.
think you made up this entire topic just to say that story. You really just wanted to tell that story.
Are you saying I made up the topic of this is what we're going to talk about?
Yeah. You're like, yes. Oh, it's summertime. You know, that reminds me of that one time I thought I saw a dead body, but it turned out to be a sex doll. You know what? I'm going to make it the topic because I really want to talk about that and tell people about the time that I thought a sex doll was a live body. Now, to be fair, you were young, and my understanding is the doll's hair does look pretty real.
It was if not early 2000s. Like, thinking back to not that I am well versed in what a sex doll looks like now, but like even back then, that was a very convincing look. John's face.
Thanks, John.
John's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's right. I saw the magnets on your fridge. I know what dungeons you go to. But it was a very realistic looking doll. At least to a young person's eyes, it was very realistic.
Are we talking let's see here, like blow up doll or silicone doll?
Like silicone, like an actual, not like a blow up, like, and it's one of those. It was like,
that'd be a blow up doll, yeah.
It had a like molded face and everything, and it's like, I'm trying to remember how the rest of the body was, but I'm pretty sure it was all silicone.
Yeah, big old titties.
It was blonde haired. I remember the details.
Does she have pink nipples?
If I could get a hold of my mom before I edit and put this out, I'm gonna record her telling the story in her perspective. And
your mom probably won't even remember the fucking story, and it's just gonna say something like, "Are you high?"
She'll be like, I remember the day, but all the officers and everybody kind of stood in front of me and I couldn't see over them. So I had no idea what happened. So who would like to go first with a summer story or tale?
Whichever angle use that on your
you're pointing to the empty void. You're
listen, you're on the bottom of the screen for me too, so there's literally nobody beneath. Okay.
You're pointing at me right now.
Oh, okay. I think he's pointing at me.
I was like, you just stuck your finger into my chest.
You quit fingering my chest? It's weird.
I put my hand up there and use you guys as puppets.
Okay, well, I don't have a funny story like that. Nothing ever really happens to me. I mean, I have
No,
memories.
Tim starting with that story just is going to make us look bad.
Yeah,
in
it's
general.
like, yeah, well, you know,
You got to get
Right.
the best done
Yeah,
first, so
yeah,
that way it
stop
slightly
that story,
declines.
dude.
no. The only thing I really remember from younger days of summer, because now I'm constantly working through the summer and
Adulting.
yeah, adulting. Not like that, you perverts. What I remember fondly from like middle school, before middle school, is staying up late at night playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Yes.
Like,
Alright.
granted, I was like between 7 and 12. Just staying up late at night playing the game, having the time of my life. And then, of course, playing like Ratchet and Clank. I remember that I had stayed up for 4 days straight playing video games. My poor PlayStation 2 was
I
having
remember.
the damnedest time keeping up. Because it was like, I'm gaming, I'm eating food, taking a shower, back in my bedroom gaming, and just continuing to play the game. I never turned the PlayStation off.
I still have that issue. I never turn my consoles off because I'm constantly on them. I'm starting to get better at it, but I think the longest I've gone straight playing games in my youth was about 3, almost 4 days. And it was me and my friend were continuously playing, like, it was SmackDown versus Raw 2008 or something, and we're doing just nothing but Royal Rumble fights.
Yeah. I mean, I had other games, but for the most part with San Andreas, there was always something to do. Even though there wasn't a lot of side missions, there was always something to do, and I'd make little challenges for myself, like, oh, I'm going to take this tow truck, going to drive around, find another tow truck, hook that one up, and like create a string of tow trucks, try to get as long as I could. The longest amount was like 6 tow trucks, I remember.
It's so weird because, like, looking back on my youth, I remember San Andreas being huge.
Oh yeah, no, I felt like the map
huge.
was huge, and now with the remaster, which screwed over any sort of remaster for Grand Theft Auto 4 and
Red Dead Redemption 1.
You get up high and you see how small the map really is without that fog. Like, that fog was really crucial to hiding,
immersing you into the game.
Yeah.
And without it, dude, I saw the video of the dude that climbed Mount Chiliad, and you could literally see the entire map from that one point.
Yeah, dude, San Andreas had a pretty big map.
It felt like it.
Well, I mean, because we went from Vice City, which was 2 islands, right?
Right.
I believe, like side by side.
So Grand Theft Auto 3 was 3 islands. And then Vice City was 2 big islands with 2 small islands in the middle. And then we went to San Andreas, which was
4.
It was 4 quadrants, but they were all still managed, like, connected, and there was only a river between.
I think what made San Andreas also feel really huge was the fact that they packed a lot of small details into the map. So there was, like, you could go to Area 51. They had, like, a bunch of different stuff you could explore in each different area. And the fact that you were blocked off from a lot of it, like you are in the other Grand Theft Auto games too, really helped with, like, making it seem huge, because you spend a lot of portion in one part of the city, and then you get let loose on a second part, which in theory widens the pie, but you're exploring this new part so much that it just seems like it's expanding more than what it really was.
And then it's the last half is then unlocked. Oh no, it's San Fierro. So it's like you get access to Los Santos, and then you get the country, and then San Fierro, and then finally the desert in Las Venturas.
What about you, John? What is the longest you've stayed up consecutively playing games that you could recall?
I'd have to say about 2, 3, maybe. What was it? Spider-Man 2.
Ooh, the movie one.
Yeah.
Bro.
Spider-Man 2. I put
I
a lot
still-
of time into Spider-Man 2.
To this day, could hear, "Oh no, my balloon!"
Fucking balloon, man.
Haunts me in my dreams. I'll be sleeping. Next thing I know, I hear, "Oh no, my balloon! Help!" I played the ever living shit out of the Spider-Man 2 game. Like, I liked 1, but 2
was the
is
first, like, really open map, open world.
Before
style
they,
map that
I remember
really
there was
played.
the other Spider-Man game that I remember playing, further back. They added a fog through the city to where you were only able to stay on like the rooftops of certain buildings.
So that one was the original Spider-Man 1 movie game, where it was like there was a fog and everything, and if you went too low, he just fell.
Yeah.
Which was still
in the blue sweats and the sweater and the
one thing I could say I really liked about the original one though was the fact that if you're in a shadow, you went into stealth mode. So people literally would not see you, even if you're like standing there in front of them. They didn't see you because you're in a shadow. And it could be the smallest sliver of a shadow, you're still hidden. And it was priceless.
The other thing about that game is the first one I got was actually free. And it was, I got the disc from Serial Box. And it was a PC game. Yeah, it was a PC game. So, you plug it into the PC, had the old, I want to say at that point I had a Vista. Anyway, just like plug it in, and it ran like crap, but I had a lot of fun. And then I found out it was on the PlayStation console. I was like, oh hell yeah, play this.
You want to know what else haunts my dreams from the Spider-Man 2 game?
Days, huh?
It wasn't. You know what? I think it might have been Windows XP. I don't think I got Vista until I moved up here.
I never had Vista. I didn't start playing computer games until like out of high school. But that's also because I destroyed my mom's laptop when I was a little kid.
What was the thing you said the other interesting thing about it?
John, you'll be able to vibe with this. The pizza music when you did the pizza missions in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2.
Oh yeah. Shit, yeah, dude. I love that game, man. I would restart it and play it all the way through.
I should try to find it at one of the pawn shops around here since I have my PlayStation 2.
Speaking of Spider-Man games, there was a Spider-Man 3 game.
Yes.
Based off of the third movie.
Yes.
And I had it on the Nintendo Wii.
Wow, I did not know they made it for the Wii.
And so like I'm flying around and like you're actually flicking the controllers, interactive and shit, to swing through the city. It was interesting. I guess it wasn't completely like it wasn't anything to write home about, but it was a fun experience. I remember fighting Vulture.
I was like, I have for my PlayStation VR the Spider-Man Homecoming experience where you get to kind of like web swing slightly. It's all scripted and you don't get to like explore out or anything, but it's trippy, like, and everything. And then my mom went and bought the Iron Man VR game too, and that's trippy because you have to actually like take the PlayStation VR controls and you have to hold them down at your side to go up, and then like wherever you move your arms is where his thrusters are going. So it's really trippy.
That sounds trippy.
It's fun though. It's a fun trippy.
I still yet to play VR, dude.
Dude, I gotta have. Yeah, I was gonna say what I gotta do is when I finally get a fucking day off, I'm gonna move everything out from my living room because what I'm wanting to do is where the swamp cooler is in my living room. I'm wanting to clear that section out and make that my VR stretch. So that way I have the room to actually go through and play VR. And what we gotta do is do some Walking Dead and some other things. Because the Walking Dead in VR is so fun. Same thing with Resident Evil 4.
And you guys might think that that's a, like, oh, I did your mom joke, but that's literally where the PlayStation VR was set up.
It's still set up in my mom's room. I mean, granted, you could come over anytime and we'll just crash in mom's room and just play fucking VR.
Bit of a drive for me to crash that.
Yeah. What about you, John? You got any good memories to start off this round with?
Oh man, let's see here. One of my favorite summer memories was when my dad bought me a go-kart. I had never ridden a go-kart before. He just straight up found one on there was an old radio station called Swap Shop, and you'd listen to the radio, they'd give their phone numbers, they'd tell what they had for sale. He called this guy, bought a used go-kart. It was just a one-seater. But he bought it for me. I don't even remember how old I was pretty young. But he bought it for me. And the next day he went out like 6 o'clock in the morning and plowed like a figure 8 track out in the field. And I fucking drove that for hours, dude. He got me a couple gallons of gas, and it was fun, man. My cousin came over and he flipped it. First day I had it,
Did he damage it when he
gassed it around a turn, dude, and flipped. It didn't damage it, but he flipped it, dude, and he went flying out, busted his head on a rock. No, I'm just joking. The
go-kart was okay. My cousin, he's a little not here.
Yeah, he got brain damage and paralyzed from it, but other than that,
Jesus.
No, it was cool though, dude. Like ripping that shit up. And one of my fondest summer memories when I was young. Didn't really have many friends up there because he lived in Susanville, so it was kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
I have no idea where Susanville is.
It's east of you.
Not that far.
It's up in the mountains in another valley.
I was gonna say, I remember when my grandfather got me a go-kart. That shit was fun. I
did not get a go-kart. I got a little mini quad.
Ooh.
Those are fun too. I had did you guys ever ride like the crotch rockets, the really, really tiny, like small motorcycles?
No, I had a beefy motorcycle though.
I have a scar.
Even when I was young, I was way too big for those things, dude.
I have a scar on my knee. You can't see it because it's whited out. But I was
for those of
riding
you listening, Ryunn lifted up his leg, which was completely blinding white, to try and show us a scar that we can't see from the blinding white.
Yeah, I'm still seeing.
Now my hand is being illuminated in blinding white.
I'm sorry. I'm translucent. Does this help? I turned off all the brightness. All right. I have another little summer memory that's not that far off from the past. So it's about.
Is it a long story, or is it just like?
It's a short story. It's a shorter story. Okay. So this was about 3 years ago. How long ago was it that I moved into your house?
Oh God!
And no, this isn't the story of my circumcision.
Well, that was mid-COVID, so that was
mid-COVID.
Okay, so it would have been 2019.
This story was probably in 2019, like right before I moved in with you and your family. But we were going up to Lake Almanor. It was me and my family, and we brought Leo, who David would know, with us to go out boating and riding on the inner tube and everything. And this is a 2-part story. It's not long, I swear.
Just a short, sweet 2-part,
it's like Avengers
director's cut story.
It's like Avengers. So we go to take Leo out on the boat and go inner tubing, and the boats have like a really hard time trying to like go, because as David would know, Leo's kind of more on the huskier side of things, and we're all trying to inner tube and Leo. We have Leo standing at the end of the boat, and he's holding the inner tube up to his chest. People who are listening can't see the visual representation from the video, but we tell Leo to just fall forward with the inner tube and land on the water holding it. So Leo goes and throws the inner tube out, and then he goes to jump, and he makes it like maybe a milli-inch off of the edge of the boat, misses the tube, and they can't get back in the boat. So it takes like 3 of us, and we grab Leo, and we're like trying to lift him into the boat. And we spent like a good 2 minutes pulling him up into the boat for him to lay down on the ground and be like, I'm good. I don't even want to go on the tube now. So we drive him back to shore. We drop him off. The boat fucking gets it. And I'm like, all right, it's my turn to get on the tube. So I'm holding the tube. I jump on and I'm going. At this point, I'm wearing basketball shorts and I'm wearing like kind of spandexy boxers. So they're like, they're Spanx. I'm wearing Spanx under my shorts. And we start going and I'm hitting air on the inner tube and I'm going. Well, my mom's boyfriend decides to hit like a hard turn, which just throws me. And I go skipping like a fucking rock on a lake, come down into the water. My life vest pulls me up. And I'm sitting there and I see my parents going by and I'm like, things don't feel right. And I put my hands down and I realize I'm missing my shorts, my water shoes, my Spanx. I have just stripped naked in the middle of Lake Almanor as I see families just boating in circles around me. My family pulls up. It's my mom, her boyfriend, my brother, and his girlfriend. It's like, all right, come on, get in the boat. I was like, I can't. So they're making jokes like, oh, come on, you're not as big as Leo. You can pull yourself into the boat. I was like, no, I can't. They're like, why? I was like, I'm naked. They're like, what? I was like, I ain't got no clothes on. They're like, bullshit. So I like lean forward and my ass pops out of the water. They're like, oh, fuck, you're naked. I was like, I need another life vest. So I climb into the boat, sitting there butt ass naked, surrounded by my family and my brother's girlfriend. We start boating around and I'm like, I have a vest wrapped around me. I'm wearing a vest. I'm all embarrassed, not trying to look around. So we dock over at the dock and we're like, all right, Carrie, because Carrie came running up because it would have been his turn next. We're like, Carrie, we need you to run to the campsite and grab some shorts. I lost all my clothes in the water. He starts laughing. He's like, okay. And we see him like run, like Naruto run, like the anime weeb he was, off to the campsite. About 15 minutes go by and we have like other families like starting to come to the dock, be like, hey, are you guys taking off? What are you doing? There's like a bunch of females, just various ages, like walking up, and I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, oh God, no. If anybody happens to look in the boat right now, I'm going to jail. I'm sitting there, I was like, oh no, so embarrassed. Carrie comes running back and we can see he's holding like a pile of clothes. He comes back with, I shit you not, my shoes, a t-shirt, and socks. What's the one fucking thing he forgot? So my mom has the bright idea people are getting mad, so we go back out to the water. So I had to sit around and boat completely naked on Lake Almanor for like an hour with my family.
Didn't happen to be a beach towel on the boat?
No, we had a towel that I eventually wrapped around ourselves after we had Carrie just run down and grab the towels from like where our little pop-up.
Yeah, I just put my legs through the arms of the shirt and just fucking pulled it up and like knotted it off in front.
Bro, I was so embarrassed. We have no, it's not me that we have on camera because we filmed my mom like before me. My mom caught air too because I was like, you've seen my mom, right, John? You know how big she is. When my mom literally launched like maybe 10 feet in the air and just nose dived into the water.
Oh,
damn. Yeah, it was funny. We hit a huge wave. We see mom go up and we see and see her just hit the water and bounce out and fly back.
Oh my god.
It was great. All my summer stories involve water.
Well,
I told you about this time that I drowned at a lake and came back and murdered a bunch of counselors in a hockey mask.
This reminds me of another summer memory, if you don't mind me going next.
You're more than welcome.
So, I have friends in high school who owned a boat, and family friends. We'd all go out together. Like 7 of us on the boat. Well, anytime my mom or his mom, my friend Kyle, anytime they would drive the boat, they would go like 30 fucking miles an hour while towing you on the tube, and they're all whipping around. Well, the fucking lake, Whiskeytown Lake, is flat. You know how flat Whiskeytown Lake is.
Oh yeah.
So as they're going, kind of going back and forth, kind of keeping you in the wake, and then they fucking floor it and whip you out onto the flat ass water, and you're like fucking 90 degrees off the goddamn boat, skipping along. No. At this point, this is when my fear sets in, and I'm doing everything I can to not fucking die. So I'm like leaning off as much as I can to just skip. Terrifying times. And then we would try to get me to wakeboard, because it was a wakeboarding boat as well. I never did get the stance right though, and I'd start to kind of go up, and then I'd end up just sinking and losing the stance.
I've always wanted to do it.
Try to wakeboard. That always looked really fun to do.
If you've ever gone snowboarding,
yep,
it's good. It's the same kind of thing. I've never gone snowboarding either, but they tell me it's the same thing. But the main issue is you have to keep your leg. So you have to lay there kind of like knees against your chest. I'm not going to try to do it right now. My legs are underneath my desk.
Yeah, you start off with the board.
Your feet are out, and you have to be pulled for a little bit, and then you have to kind of like push your if you're right-handed, it's going to be your left foot. If you're left-handed, it's going to be your opposite foot, because your dominant foot has to be the back one to kind of like steer. So I would start to push my left foot forward right when they're like, all right, go ahead and start changing as we're getting up to speed. It's like you have to kind of do a balancing act, make sure the tip of the board doesn't go under the water. So now you're doing like 15 miles an hour while being towed. And it's a lot of pressure against the board. So if your leg muscles aren't quite set for it, you're just going to like collapse and be getting towed along.
Oh, David, in the back.
No, at that point, it's you just let go of the rope. They would prefer you let go of the rope than just continue to get dragged along and try to correct yourself.
As a child, I loved inner tubing because I was able to just lay there, and all I had to worry about was having the arm strength to hold in. As an adult, you have to hold in and tuck. So you have a whole other balancing act on top of everything, because you have yourself like this, the water continuously hitting like that, while you are holding on like this, using your knees to have the inner tube we have is circular. So you hold like this with your knees kind of tucked into your elbows, and you got to try to hold on to balance. And it sucks because I'm bigger than my mom by a couple of inches. So my toes will hang off the end of the inner tube. You know how painful it is to hit air and just slap, and the water just right on your toes?
Yes.
And then if your foot happens to slip any and your foot hits that water, you're just like dragging, and you have to like pull yourself back up. It's so much fun now.
Yeah, try being tall when your whole legs are hanging off the back of that thing. Too.
That same kind of situation. Whip you out 90 degrees, and then they would cut back to throw you back across the wake to make sure you get some air, because their goal is to throw you off of that stupid thing.
So much
Dude.
fun.
But yeah, at that point I'm like 5'10", and it's not the kind of tube where my knees are up forward. I am holding on, like doing a Superman pose. So my legs are legit like hanging off the edge, hitting the water as well. Fun.
Yeah, that's the way I gotta do it.
I want to go boating again, but it's like
You should, dude.
it's $120 to take pretty much a boat out for like 2 hours worth of gas.
Gas is stupid expensive.
It is right now, and I hate it because it ruins
It's
all.
not as bad when you have a nice group of people that'll chip in, you know.
Right.
I'm still trying to convince
more
my mom
affordable
to
that
like
way.
we need to do it at least once this summer, because like since the pandemic hit, we haven't done our yearly going to Almanor and doing that. We haven't taken our boat out in 3 years now because the whole COVID restrictions and all that.
It would only be 2. It started in 2020.
We have not taken her boat out since 2019. John, do you have another memory you would like to share with us, or a nice fun summer story, or some total?
I was gonna kind of expand on the whole getting towed behind a boat with the tube. We went out to Whiskeytown Lake. We rented a boat, rented a tube, and you know it's got that fabric cover to the tube. You know, just that like
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, it had one of those, right? And it was, I don't know what the hell this is right here. All right. Sorry.
I have no idea what you're talking
about. I know something popped up on my screen.
Oh.
Anyway, we it was tied to the boat. We were going, me and my buddy Sean, we were on the tube, and they were, like you said, they, you know, make wakes and they cut around and hit the wakes and stuff. And we got air, dude, and we hit that water, and we hit it so hard, the nose of the tube went down into the water, and the tube pretty much jolted back and it ripped the whole fabric on the tube completely off. They just kept going, dude, and we shot down into the water and like flipped, you know, ass over tea kettle in that water, and we slammed so hard, dude. And and you just see the fabric of the fucking tube just flapping in the water behind them. Yeah, we had to go back and get another one. I don't think we had to pay for it.
Have you ever done
it literally just I don't know what happened, just the pressure of us hitting, you know, downward.
Dude, water
it just ripped the whole fabric of the cover of the tube. Yeah,
you hit water hard enough, it's fucking concrete.
Yeah, that's what it felt like, because we hit it, the fabric or whatever it is, I don't know, the vinyl almost just skinned off of the tube, dude, and we went down and flipped over and slammed into the water. That was probably the hardest I've ever hit water face first. So it was not fun. But it was funny as shit, but it was not fun.
Have any of you guys ever like had one of the tube people inner tubes where it's you and another person holding on?
Yes, but
yeah, that's what it was. Me and him were side by side.
So with that, it was kind of like a T shape, and it's supposed to be 2 people. Well, I've always been a bigger guy, and you put anybody else on the other side, and the fucking tube's gonna be at a sling. So immediately when they're pulling, it's like this side is I'm on the water, like oh, nice ride. The other person's getting flipped up and down.
I know exactly how you feel about that.
Yeah, like hold on, like lean towards your buddy.
Yeah, I'm like lean
towards the person you're riding with.
Them, so that way they're not getting whipped off completely.
Yeah.
So one of my hardest hits happened on a 2-person tube, and it like my brother is obviously smaller than me. I'm the bigger out of the 2 of us, and we've had to do it before. My brother was like the person holding on one side, and mine was like hitting the water, and my brother's like we're like this on the tube, like going across, and I accidentally let go of the straps, but I re-grabbed onto my brother. And the whole tube, you see the tube like flip sideways, and you just see me like holding onto my brother as we're both rolling across the water. So it was pretty much I suplexed my brother like 6 times through the water. I didn't want to let go because at that time I was like afraid of how bad the water would hurt. Because again, we're young, I'm preteen, and it was like we're boom, boom. And I just remember like we hit down and the water dipped really high into it. And it was like we went to go let go, and I happened to like grab my brother's hips. Like I happened to be able to grab.
I didn't rip his shorts off.
All my summer stories is with one of us getting naked in public. But no, I ended up grabbing him, and I remember like I held on with enough force that when the tube hit the water and my brother was flown off, like we were still attached, and all my family would see was like a continuous, like my brother hit and me flip over Brandon and he flip, and it was like a big cycle, just like smack, 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 smack.
Wow.
It was fun though. Can't also forget them good old summer days of staying up till like 5 o'clock in the morning with a bag of Doritos and some Mountain Dew, grinding on some good old Halo 3 or Halo Reach.
Grind on Halo, or
That was
in
my
our case GTA.
well, no,
playing GTA
I'm
late
meaning
at
like,
night, just me.
well, yeah, GTA for us went back like
It
right
was
out
a
of high
summer
school.
memory, okay?
I'm
And while you guys were
sorry.
grinding on Halo, I was getting grinded on by some hot beezies. No, I was playing.
You were gonna say I was getting grinded
Who
on by
says
some
that?
bitches.
That's such
Oh,
a
bitches.
saying.
I mean, I could dive into those summer memories of being like 13, 14, and my dad having like 16 to 18-year-olds come over, but that's not appropriate.
That's not a recording conversation. You know what I mean?
No.
You've
That's
said too much already.
that's some emotional damage.
There is
Very,
there is
very much.
another memory I'm going to jump in with of, well, there's two, but I don't know if one happened in the summer or not. I can't remember. Of me working at
Grab
the
another
casino.
beer.
We're back. Just in the middle of David's.
It's always in the middle of my story. He's just like, well, I'm
Please,
gonna
please
head out.
continue, please. I'll patiently wait.
David's
Go, whatever you gotta do, go.
every
Shaking my head
podcast,
here.
the second you go to tell a story.
Every podcast. Well, no, not every podcast. Because when I was the host, he didn't leave.
You're welcome.
Let's see, get another drink.
Continue, please. Continue.
Tim, did
Thank
we
you
go
for
to
waiting.
Vegas in the middle of the summer?
Yes.
That's a summer memory. Working 10 hours at the casino to get off work at like midnight. And then me and you get into my car and drive 12 hours of you telling me, yeah, I'll be awake the entire time. And then, 3 hours into the drive, all I'm hearing is, and then, of course, I'm the only person that can drive my car because you can't drive a stick shift. So 12 hours to Vegas.
I'm not good. I don't know how to use a stick.
What kind of car did you have that was a
Bitch.
manual?
It's my 17 Focus. I still own the car.
Nice.
It's a good car.
So your memory of the Vegas trip is completely different than my memory of the Vegas trip.
Well, we've talked about the Vegas trip, the infamous Vegas trip of driving 12 hours, falling asleep, waking up at like 3 p.m, going swimming, and then me and you walking to the strip, you getting grabbed while walking across the street. You remember like Chip and Dale dancers. I don't recall ever having like maybe passing conversation with them. And then we rode the tram to New York, New York. We got food, and then we got a taxi back to the apartment that we were staying at. to then wake up the following morning to get into my car to drive 12 hours back.
So you guys got to talk. You guys had conversations with Chippendale dancers?
They were talkative.
They're like, guys,
Tim
we're
is
2 men
adamant that they were
short.
trying
All
to
right, we're
pursue.
2 men down. We need replacements right now. We will pay you up front.
If they had said we will pay you, I think me and Tim actually would have done.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Let me go through
Tim's
my
memories though
version.
are not correct.
Let me go through my version of the Vegas trip. Super pumped, ready to go. I know David had this huge shift right beforehand. I was gonna stay up all night. We had Wendy's right before we left?
We got Wendy's.
We got Wendy's right before we left. We started driving. We had this bomb ass playlist. We took a beautiful picture at one of the truck stops that I still have. Start going in and I start nodding off. David's trying to tell me about this place he used to live in. Nodding off. Was super excited when we crossed the border because this was my first time out of California. And I was like, yeah, so excited. Gurgle noises in my stomach. The second we crossed the border, I got unbelievably sick. So my entire duration of being in Vegas is me trying my hardest not to shit myself the entire time.
He was just so excited.
I was so excited
Wendy's
I got sick.
into a laxative.
So the entire trip was to surprise Saint Michael, who's in the Drinking Corner chat, for his 16th birthday.
Oh, I don't remember what.
I forget how old he was. He was a minor at the time, but like he was a friend of ours through Xbox. And we orchestrated with his mother to take a trip to Vegas. We'd be staying at their house. In narrative retrospect, this probably sounds like we were going to get murdered, but we were invited to a stranger's house to surprise her son, who was like friends with us, loved gaming with us, and watched our channel. We showed up, gave him a bunch of free merch. We're super excited. We were not given any of the promised stuff that we were promised, like some good traditional soul food. Still holding that against you, Saint.
What a bummer.
I know.
So the entire trip, we ate nothing but fast food and In-N-Out.
I think we ended up only eating Sonic.
Yeah, we only ate Sonic the entire trip. No. So not only do I already feel sick, I'm feeling sicker as the days go by.
Only getting junk food. Like I wasn't even feeling super hot after this. And then we had to drive 12 hours through the desert back.
Which in that case, I immediately started feeling better.
Yeah, I remember. I do remember. Because we got McDonald's on the way out of town. That's what it was. Yeah.
But no, so we're crossing a street, and as we're crossing, this young woman like straight grabs like my entire family jewels, like she's trying to commit thievery. And I turn around like, what the fuck? Turn back around and David's gone. Can't find David. I see him across the street, and this is how my brain remembers it. I see him across the street with 2 Chippendale dancers, and David has this look of like, somebody save me.
I remember because we were crossing the strip. It was, I didn't hear you say what the or turn around. I thought you were behind me the entire time.
I wanted her phone number. No.
We got across the street, and then I'm like, where the fuck is Tim? And then that's when, there was a couple of Chippendale dancers. I was like, friendly conversation, because obviously I'm standing by Chippendale dancers on the other side of the crosswalk, waiting for your bitch ass to finish the crossing.
I'm sorry, it was love at first ball touch.
You know what this sounds like to me, though, guys? Sounds like you need another Vegas trip, and I need to tag along.
So
not saying it'll be any better.
Tim literally talked about doing a Vegas trip
for his bachelor party,
but we're broke. So unless you're willing to cough up a couple $1,000,
I will definitely
Okay.
chip in as much as I can. I would love to take a trip
the
with
realism.
Vegas with
This
you
is the
guys.
realism in it. I have a place that we all could stay in Vegas. We don't have to pay for a place. We just have to pay to get
Let's
there.
have this
Pay
conversation.
to
Not
enjoy
on
the time.
record.
Okay. Also, if we do go to Vegas, no nose goes for the strippers.
No strippers.
John's like, I'll pay for him. Fuck it.
Nah,
Hey,
dude.
when in Rome.
Also, we're going to Caesar's
I got my
Palace.
flight.
All right.
I've never been to Vegas, and it'd be really fun to go with you guys.
I think it would be a lot more fun now that Saints of legal age to actually tag along with us.
Right.
That sounded horrible, but like,
But if we get promised soul food, I want some damn soul food because nothing better. Nothing better.
and yes,
Okay. I couldn't remember.
we'll make a whole vlogging trip out of it. The Nerdgasmic Goodfellas travel.
Hang on. No. It was supposed to be a whole fucking vlogging trip as well. Did your bitch ass ever record that much though? No. The videos are there somewhere. I don't think it ever made it to the light of day.
I think I uploaded a small thing because we recorded the initial meeting, which was amazing. Probably one of my favorite meeting one of my fans moments ever was Saint's mom came outside and met us outside. I had David filming.
She was so excited to see us.
Dude, she was so excited. I had what was it? A coffee cup and one of the channel t-shirts.
Yeah.
Like ready. And I forgot what she told him that we were doing, but she went outside and she went in. I knocked on the door and you could hear her be like, Michael, go get that. And he'd be like, oh, what the fuck? Like, you know, the normal teenager, like, I don't want to do this. Get up and he opens the door and he looks me dead in the face and I'm like smiling because I can't control it. I'm happy, I'm excited. And he looks at me, he's like, oh, hell no, what the fuck? And he just gets so excited. And like, he gave me the biggest fucking hug and he was so happy because we kept this a secret. What did we tell him that we were doing that week that we couldn't play games with him? Because he was all
I don't think we told it. Dude, it was literally, we were gone for like only
a couple hours.
Like, I don't think we told him anything. I don't remember though.
We completely surprised him and he got so excited. Like the look on his face was amazing. And the first time meeting Noah was pretty cool too. Remember that? Motherfucker comes in on a skateboard.
That was my next story. That was my next story. We drove to Sacramento and we met up with Noah and Cobra. And we got Chick-fil-A.
Is that literally how you're explaining the story?
No, I was gonna elaborate the story.
I was like, is that all you're gonna add in there? Come on, you gotta say that entrance because that entrance was 20 out of 10.
So as we're driving, we're driving down and me and you are spitballing Reminisce, which regrettably did not see much of the light of day. And as we're driving down, you're texting Noah. Like Noah happens to be in town. I think as we were getting close to Sacramento, because we were originally just going down for Cobra, weren't we? And then Noah just happened to be free as well.
Yeah, we're going down to meet Cobra because I really wanted Chick-fil-A. And the one in Redding or Anderson didn't open yet. So like we made the agreement that you would drive to Sacramento and we'd meet Cobra and everything. And then on the way there, I told Noah that we were going to Sac and he was like, oh dude, no way. Like, let's meet up. I live in Sacramento. And he was like, meet us over by this high school. And we're like, okay. So we went over to the high school and we're sitting there waiting for him to show up. And David, I'll let you take the rest of this.
No, go for it. I'll let you explain.
So we're sitting there waiting.
Talk too much already. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I've talked way too much as the host. This is your guys' shit. I gotta be judging you guys, not me.
Listen.
Listen, Linda.
What I do remember is motherfucker shows up on a skateboard holding on to the back of a car. Am I remembering this correctly?
You are remembering this accurately.
I think it was, I want to say it was his girlfriend at the time.
It was one of his friends that was like
Or one- yeah,
flying
one
through
of
the
his friends.
school zone, and he was just holding on to the back of the car.
And
Motherfucker
then he
came
got
in at
into a
least-
stranger's car.
Yeah, he
and
didn't
then
even
he-
get into our car. He got into somebody else's.
And then, yeah, he got into our car. And then we're like trying to figure out how to navigate Sacramento streets because they're fucked up. Trying to find this stupid Chick-fil-A. Trying to find Cobra because we were surprising Cobra.
Yeah,
Cobra
Cobra
didn't know
had
we were
no
gonna do
idea
it.
we were showing up. I was just gonna show up and surprise him. Because at this point in time, he was Cobra is one of my security guard friends, and at that time he did security guarding for Chick-fil-A. So he would just sit in his squad car and be like patrolling Chick-fil-A. And
I was
so
gonna
pretty
say
much
that's it's a pretty big bong you got there, David.
Thanks.
light it up, bro.
Yeah, there you go.
But
My-
no, we pull up behind his squad car and we like startled him because to pass time, because obviously being a security guard for Chick-fil-A, that's gonna be a little
I don't think he was a security for Chick-fil-A. I think he was guarding the business next door.
No, it was for Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
He was the guard
I
for
didn't know
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A needed. security.
Sacramento's Chick-fil-A has a very bad vagrant problem.
Oh,
Anyway.
yeah.
But dude would sit
Sounds
in
like
his
my kind of job right there, dude.
dude would sit in his patrol car with a portable TV and his Xbox One playing Gears of War in a squad car. Not sure I'm
Yeah.
supposed to say that at all, but we won't use his
I don't
real
think he
name.
works for that company anymore anyways. It doesn't
He
matter.
doesn't know.
Also, we're not saying what his actual name is. We're just saying Cobra.
True legend right there. I wish I could bring my TV and Xbox to work with me and play in my car. You're like, Tim's been about an hour and 45 minutes late from this delivery. What the hell's going on? You just see me reclined in my car playing Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I'm
John,
gonna
I'll be
start-
there in a minute.
While substitute teaching, I'm going to be bringing my Xbox to school and playing games with the kids. Like Jackbox games.
Play Playboy Bunny the Mansion. Playboy Bunny Mansion the Experience. I think that was the name of the old school Xbox game.
Oh my gosh, it was like Sims, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when that game came out, dude.
I
I'm
remember
like, no
'cause when my
freaking
dad,
way they're making a game like this.
when my dad
I thought it was
first
only
got
the PlayStation 2.
custody-
I didn't know it was on the actual Xbox as well.
Yeah, it was on the Duke console. I remember when my dad first got custody of me, he bought me that game, and I was just like, titties. As a little,
You know what the first
13-year-old.
Xbox game I played was? Leisure Suit Larry.
I was just about to bring up Leisure Suit Larry. Did you know they
That was the weirdest.
released it
funnest
for the Xbox, for our Xboxes?
Wasn't it
Playboy
a
the
sequel?
Mansion. That was the name of the game.
And what did you say, John?
So wasn't it a sequel that they made another?
Dude, they
for
made
the
like
newer
4 or
console?
5 of the Leisure Suit Larry games.
Holy crap!
They just released the newer one that came out on Xbox One and shit.
Wow.
The first Xbox game I ever played was indefinitely Halo. And Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball 2.
I think Fable was another one. It
Oh,
was,
I would watch my mom play Fable for hours.
Fable was one of the first ones. I remember my friend describing Fable to me, and he didn't mention that it was like, that time period. So when he was telling me
Medieval
this, I thought it
esque.
was like, yeah, like fantasy stuff like that. I thought it was like a new age kind of game, like in the streets in cities or something like that, which would be kind of cool actually. now that I
The
think about it.
third one is like that because the third one takes place during the Industrial Revolution.
No,
or
I mean like
Avalon.
cars and
Oh, you mean like a
skyscrapers,
modern?
cities. Yeah, like modern. I thought it was a modern based game. I didn't realize it was. I don't know. just remember you do
missed
bad
the
shit.
first
And
part of this. What game are we talking about?
Fable.
Okay.
There are 8 Leisure Suit Larry games.
I like the first one from 1981. That's the reason I took the picture and sent it to you, Tim. I'm not going to say the name of that title.
I will. It's a Leisure Suit Larry soft porn adventure.
I don't think it was Leisure Suit Larry. I think that did it say Leisure Suit Larry?
Oh no, it's just Inline Systems presents soft porn adventure for adults only.
Comedic, adult-oriented text adventure. Game produced for Apple II in 1981.
Yeah, wow. Perverts.
Wow.
I bet you guys are the type that when you look online and you see your friends playing GTA, it says sitting in the strip club. You perverts. I had a friend that every time I looked at and seen what he was doing online, it said he was in the strip club in GTA.
I literally was never in the strip club, and it was always saying I was in the strip club.
You could find Jimmy
lap dances.
In Grand Theft Auto 5, you can find Jimmy Hopkins in the strip club.
It's not Jimmy.
His jersey is Hopkins, and it's a Bullworth.
Okay. Well. Anyway, for a little,
we'll agree to disagree. Subtle nod. Yeah, we kind of segued hardcore. Anybody else got some summer memories? Summer memories. It's time for John to talk about.
Weed.
Yeah, there's
taking Adderall for the first time.
So my dad and I actually have a kind of, it's not a funny story, it's really sad and fucked up. But you remember Trevor, David?
Yeah.
So when me and Trevor were like really close friends, because when I first moved to Corning, Trevor and I became like best friends. And my dad thought it would be a funny idea to bake cookies, but not tell Trevor that they were special cookies. So Trevor ate like 5 of them and was just tripping balls. And my dad was like, hey, you know, it'd be a really fun thing to do right now. Let's go 4-wheeling in the Durango at 2:00 in the morning in the middle of the night. My dad scared him so bad he shit himself in the car. And then like after that, our friendship became like a little rocky. Don't know why this is one of my good summer memories, but this is what I'm remembering. But
you didn't say good summer memory. You just said summer memory. So.
But our friendship became very strained at that point. And I remember Trevor tried getting me back because at this point in time, I hated horror. Like anything scary, I absolutely hated it. And he decided to introduce me to a game called Fear, which I've never played before. But Trevor had one of those old school early 2010s, like the rocking chairs with the speakers built in that were like really good sound quality speakers. And for those of whom who don't remember the intro to Fear, but it's some freaky shit with a little possessed girl. And as I always say, when it comes to possessed or demonic children, drop kick that shit out the window. Don't try to help it. But he scared me pretty bad, and I did like a backflip out of his fucking gaming chair from being jump scared. Even though I didn't shit or piss myself, Trevor thought it was absolutely funny, and we became friends again. All the way up until the pretty much Oceana incident.
My earliest memory of Trevor is from middle school. And it's while in class, we hear this loud.
Oh, I know what
he was running through the hallways. Somebody opened up a classroom door and he ran straight into it.
I was the person that opened the door.
Oh, yeah. That was my first memory of Trevor. That's when somebody was like, oh yeah, that's Trevor. That's one of my good friends. So, oh.
I have a good memory about Ariel. Well, actually, this isn't summer, so I'm not gonna say it.
We'll talk about that.
Get on topic, guys. John, Speak some more.
Speak some more.
Give us some more.
You look
John.
like you're
I'm tired, man. I just want to sleep.
Come on.
All right.
With age comes
right.
wisdom. Bestow
Here we
upon us
go.
some good memories.
It was the summer of 1956.
Damn.
Damn,
Back
you're
looking
that
good.
old? Shit.
You're looking good for
Back
being old as
when
fuck.
milk costs a quarter and going to the show costs $1.50. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of my teenage summer years included sitting around, listening to music, smoking weed, being stupid. I don't know, but let's see here. I lived in Gerber, not too far from Red Bluff. Used to ride bikes a lot. You know, I had like that Stranger Things group. You know, we'd all ride bikes and just cruise around, go to the levee, freaking chill, wrestle. You know what I mean? Wrestle in the water, get hurt. Every now and then, people would start crying and go home, tell on us and shit because we slam them in the water too hard.
So, in other words, you're saying you have the cliche, like Hollywood, old school, like
You mean
childhood.
it's real?
Yeah, we'd walk on the train tracks and shit. There was a really cool fig tree, dude, that like, okay, they had like cement blocks. I don't know what the purpose was, why they were there, but there's big ass cement slabs and blocks and stuff, and this fig tree grew up and like domed out like this, but you know there was entrances you can go into, and it was almost hollowed out inside, and we'd go in there and
yeah, fig trees do that.
it was really cool. And you know, we'd go in there and I remember my friend when they used to keep cartons of cigarettes in, like, you could just walk by, open the sliding door, grab a carton of cigarettes and buy it. Well, he went in and he freaking stole a carton of Marlboros, and never forget seeing him riding his bike up, dude, and he just had like 2 cartons of Marlboros, and he was like riding like this. You know, we were dumb. We were like 10, 11, you know, smoking cigarette after cigarette, just choking on them, thinking we were cool. You know, stealing our parents' beer while they were either passed out or gone working. You know, it is fun days. Fun days.
I was like, you say stupid, but I hear you enjoyed your childhood.
It was
had a
now
childhood.
looking back at it, I would kick my son's ass if he ever did anything like that, but
Sure.
because it is
learning,
stupid,
that's
you know.
learning
Like,
from your past.
exactly.
I was gonna say your son
Exactly.
seems like too.
You know, we all had BB guns.
like that.
So we'd like, you know, we'd kill birds.
Shoot your eye out, kid.
Yeah.
Shoot your eye out, boy. Never aim a gun at somebody.
Oh, there was this one, you know, I just thought about it. There was this time I lived by the train tracks. My house was here. Train tracks were literally like, it was our backyard, a little hill, train tracks. So I freaking grew up right on the tracks pretty much. And there was a fence and a field. Well, we went out to this field and there were like abandoned cars, you know, they were kind of shitty, but I'm sure they could run if you put a little work into them. And we had the smart idea of taking baseball bats and spray paint cans and going out in that back field and tagging up these cars and bashing all the windows in. And I'll never forget, we saw this truck hauling ass to us, dude, out like on a dirt road that led out to the field. And we were like, oh shit. And we took off running, and before we knew it, dude, we heard shotgun blasts coming from that truck. I don't know if he was shooting at us or up in the air or what, but we fucking hauled ass, dude. And we didn't run back to my house. We ran kind of like diagonally towards the store, just so they wouldn't, you know, knew exactly where we were going.
Right.
Yeah. And that was probably the one of the scariest things I've ever been through when I was a kid, because who knows, that guy could have been bucking shots at us trying to,
Or
I don't know, too, but
backfiring because driving it so hard.
Yeah, it was very stupid of us to do that, but it was fun looking back at it. I still have the baseball bat. That's weird because like I can like take the bat and kind of like tilt it downwards, and I don't know what it is, but it like from
Is it a metal
hitting
bat?
steel, yeah, it's a metal bat, and from hitting steel, you can like hear like granules of just, you know, it's got dents in it and shit. I'll show you one of these days when you come over, Tim. It's
I
pretty
got
cool.
you. That'd be interesting.
But yeah, it's that was how my summers were in Gerber. I hung out with I was like one of the only white kids in a group of Mexican kids, and we did some stupid shit. Once we started getting older and, you know, experiencing or experimenting with drugs and alcohol, lots of dumbass choices.
God,
Sometimes dumb times.
I feel it because like I looking back, because I lived with my mom again from like the last podcast. I lived with her from birth to about 13 years old. So like I'd say about 10 years old when she met her ex-husband Curtis was when in my life period I started like drinking, smoking, and like going down that path. Was about that age. And I remember I mentioned Carrie as the guy that ran to go get shorts and didn't grab shorts, he grabbed a shirt or whatever. And he's been a longtime family friend of my family's and stuff. And I used to, as a kid, go over and hang out with his family who lived maybe a half mile down the road from me. And I remember one summer night, it was me, Carrie's at time attractive sister, my friend Morgan, who was my childhood best friend, and some asshole named Perry Jr. And I remember this was the first time that I smoked a gravity bong and like actually smoked weed. And like everybody knew I was kind of like the shyest, sheepish, like I was definitely the influential kid of the group. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll do it, guys. Yeah, I smoke pot all the time. Yeah, what's up? Type of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
What question?
Like, yeah.
Quick question about the gravity bong.
Yeah.
What was used for the filler, you know?
So we did a kitchen pot water, and then we used this 7-Up like 2-liter bottle that was cut in half.
Ooh, yeah. There you go.
And so like they had this can of Budweiser, and this is why to this day I don't like beer and don't drink beers. They had this can of Budweiser that sat out in the sun for over a year. And again, like very impressionable, like 13-year-old kid. Carrie's sister was like, oh, I'll make out with you if you slam this beer that's been out there for a year. My dumbass impressionable kid was like, bet. Fucking slammed it and just everywhere.
I'm guessing you did not get the kiss.
But wait, there's more. There's more. But wait. So immediately after doing that, they're like, all right, dude, hit this gravity bong. No idea how it worked. No idea what was going to happen. Did it a bunch of times. Was already feeling like super lightheaded. And they're like, all right, here, man, have this joint. Was like, okay, yeah. At this point, I've smoked pot a couple of times. So I wasn't like as, you know, as I was making off beforehand. But
yeah, but a gravity bong can take down the biggest smoker, you know.
So
Snoop
I'm
Dogg
already
would have trouble with the gravity
at this point,
bong.
my stomach hurts from chugging that beer, and my throat hurts from like vomiting so much. I'm lightheaded, dizzy, and now I'm starting to feel very fucking high. And I don't know if you guys could see it or not, but if you ever notice, I don't grow facial hair here on my neck because I have a scar there. This is the story on how I got the scar. So dickheaded Perry Jr. comes over. He's with Carrie's sister, I think, at this time. So, et cetera, et cetera. But pretty much he decides to knock me out runs up from behind me, puts me in a chokehold, and just instantly knocks me out and lets me drop into this metal sculpture because Carrie's father, who is a drunkard, would make metal sculptures, and I fell onto a dragon where the tail, if I would have fell like a few inches forward, it would have just went up through my neck. But instead, the way I fell, it just stabbed through and then dragged across.
Wow.
I woke up from that, to which Perry Jr. like punched me in the head, like punched me in the temple, and put me in another chokehold to knock me out like immediately after gaining conscious. Was out again. I was out for 15 seconds the second time. Got back up, and at this point, like Perry Jr., who's already intoxicated before he came over, put me in a chokehold again, but this time I was able to get like my arms up like that so he wasn't choking me, but I was like again losing conscious, and he knocked me out for a third time in a row, in which I was out for almost 40 seconds. And during like that last one, I had like, you know how in that 70s show they did like the psychedelic like cutaways where it showed like the flowers and stuff, and then like slowly jumping in front of it. I don't know why, but one of those like flashed through my brain during that duration that I was out. So for me, it felt like I was out for like an hour, but I was only out for like 30, 40 seconds.
Wow.
And that's my horrible memory of having one of those type of
So
summer
tell me where this Perry Jr. lives
prison.
now. Prison. Okay.
So
good.
why?
I was gonna say, because we're gonna pay a little visit to this fool.
Why was he being an asshole to you? Was it
He was just so
showing off?
There is like, yeah, one, they were showing off. Two, a little bit more context to that. His family and my family were family friends. We'd go over to their house to swim all the time. And like, I think it was like a week prior, his sister, who was like really attractive back in the day, we were all swimming, and I jumped off the diving board, and she kind of like leaned out to like scare it, and my hand caught her top, and I ripped her top completely off. First set of real titties. No. But pretty much he had resentment for that. When I moved in with my dad, he actually almost killed one of my step siblings because he was driving drunk and blew through our yard to get to Carrie's house, because my dad lived on the other side of Carrie's property, and he almost ran over one of my step siblings. The dude like tormented my childhood.
Gotcha. All because his sister decided to.
Well, no, it's not just that, but that was the fuel for the fire for the knockout. Gotcha. Because I was a little shithead about it and was like, ha ha, I got your top, and just fucking chucked it over the fence.
Yes. That's awesome.
Which is horrible when you talk about it
nice,
now.
but...
It's horrible when you talk about it now, but 13-year-old me was just like, woo! To 16-year-old Chloe. It was horrible. I had a bad childhood.
Anyway, I think we're coming up on it. Oh, yeah, Joe?
What's that?
What you were starting to say something?
Oh, I was gonna say, well, you can make up for a really good adulthood. Make up for your shitty childhood.
I try every single day.
I know you do. That's why we gotta go to Vegas, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta make up for being a better adult. Let's go to Sin City.
Yeah. Film it all in black and white noir.
I love the Sin City movies. God. I just looking back on it, a lot of my childhood is not memories like that, but I had a lot of instances where stuff like that. But then again, like the whole Perry Jr. sister situation, she was not a good kid or an influence, because she was definitely the one that was like sleeping around with a bunch of people, stuff like that. Not that that justifies anything, but I just, as a kid, I hung around bad influences. But then again, we lived in a small town where there was nothing but bad influence, because no offense to where the area I live, but Dairyville is just full of tweaks and shit. There are good eggs then there, but yeah.
Same with Gerber, dude. Like a lot of people just doing.
I have a
stupid
lot of
shit.
family that used to live in Gerber in my childhood that were all just crackhead thieves and stuff.
Yeah.
No good summer memories there. Anybody else got some final memories before we close out?
I remember this time in the middle of the summer, and Ryunn texts me. He's like, "Hey, we're doing a podcast tonight." And I was like, "Oh, no shit."
-2 points.
Yeah. Oh wait, I remember this one time in band camp.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What happened in
friend
band camp?
Apple
stuck a
pie,
flute up my
John.
ass.
Apple pie.
Well, what happened in band camp? Did you run the
What?
naked mile?
No, I said my friend stuck a flute up my ass.
Up your ass.
Yeah.
It wasn't even his ass, it was your ass.
No, it was mine. I mean, I was, made my summer.
One summer, I read from the Book of Love before I ran the naked mile for Beta House.
Wow. 3 American Pie references in one.
You could say in about a year, we're about to have a reunion.
Get
And
out of
later
here.
on this year, we're about to have a wedding.
Yeah.
Look at that. I fit more references in.
Oh, the Naked Mile. Good old Naked Mile. I remember
My
that one.
dad loved those movies, and I watched pretty much almost all of them by the time I was like 15.
I think American Pie 2 was probably the best one.
I think out of the original ones, yeah, out of the spin-offs, which would be like Bandcamp, Naked Mile, Beta House, and Book of Love, I would say Bandcamp was probably one of my favorites because it had like the best jokes, in my opinion. Anybody else have a closing memory, or you all done?
I know what you did last summer.
I know what you did tonight. Before you even did it.
I know what you do every night.
Masturbate.
Because John tells me he's got cameras in your house.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that was freaky as fuck because I pulled something out of my toaster oven as I got that message.
That was so funny, dude.
He was laughing when I came in that next day, and he brought it up to me, and he was laughing about it. I'm telling you, we gotta just one day on his day off, just play a game with him, help him relax. That dude's stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll
Back for blood.
I'll conclude this podcast with one final very sentimental memory for summer vacation that goes back to me wee bit of childhood days, where my grandfather, who used to live in the house I'm in now before he moved into my brother's house, would do, because at this point in time, my mom didn't have a job. She was a very young 20-something-year-old. My grandfather used to take us camping in the yard because we had bushes that fenced in the yard and everything like that. So he'd go through the effort, pinch a tent. We'd do a campfire, roast s'mores outside, tell camp stories. And I used to bring my friends. I'd invite Morgan, who was, again, my childhood best friend growing up. I'd bring my at-time crush, Shaylee, over. It'd be my cousins, me, all of us just with my grandfather, chilling outside by a fire. And it really showed that you don't have to go far to have good memories. With that being said, I need to tabulate the points here. So, John, you were
keeping track this whole time?
I was. John,
How dare you?
In the podcast in general, you earned 1 point, another secular point. You had a tangent that got you 2 points, another topic that got you 1 point, and then a final tangent that got you 3 points. David, you had a tangent that brought you 1 point, a tangent that you added onto mine that brought you 2 points, a tangent that brought you 3 points, and a tangent that brought you 2 points. So let me add those together. Oh, and John, you also got 1 bonus point at the beginning because of the meh thing. So John, just to show that I'm not adding or subtracting anything here. So John, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. David, you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Ooh, shit.
So with that being said, John,
Your math literally broke the tie, John.
your math broke the tie.
Yes.
So John, you will be the host of
Guns out, suns out, baby.
The guns out, suns out. It's going down, motherfuckers. John, you are the winner of this week's episode. Congratulations.
All right.
Have fun coming up with another podcast topic.
I promise it will be better than the last.
Well, this is something I was going to tell you guys earlier on. As I was editing the music episode, I very much felt in agreement with you guys that it sucked not being able to have the music in, even editing it in later. And at this point in time, we don't get paid to do this. We don't have sponsorships or anything. Please sponsor us. And
sponsor us. We promise we can clean up our
we're
act.
just gonna do a podcast called Sponsor Us, where we're gonna just do a bunch of fake ad reads for fake products to showcase how great we are at advertising.
Sponsored by My Pillow.
Would you buy My Use Sucks?
Okay,
www.godaddy
well then, that's a little hard.
/RYUNN. No. But I'm no longer gonna care about the monetization and stuff or the copyright. I could always fight back against copyright claims or just allow the people that own the rights to stuff to put ads on the video for YouTube rights or whatever it be. The whole reason why I was a stickler on it was because of Beyond John's What's Funny topic, in which like the podcast got banned in multiple countries because
Those
of
damn
like
Louis C.K. videos. That's what did us
it was
in right there.
a lot of it was the 2 Louis C.K.'s. My Donald Glover skit was what banned us in Germany, but you know
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it, but for now on, I'm gonna put a bigger emphasis on editing and adding in stuff to make it more engaging.
Before you go, that means that somebody in Germany had to have known or listened to the podcast to know that it was there, or watch the podcast to then ban it, unless they're just like, all right, there's this. If this even shows up or is mentioned.
We can't watch this kind of stuff and not concentrate. No, this is very disturbing.
And this
no offense
episode's
against
banned.
Germans, I am part German, so I can make German jokes. I can do German.
It is
but
all
no, yeah. Our podcast does get views because every week I do check with RSS, the service that I use to share the podcast with. It gives me an analytics of how we do. Spotify is pretty much Spotify and YouTube are our top 2 sources of how we get viewed and watched around. We do have followers that do follow. I think the last time I checked, we're at 6, and that was a few podcasts ago. So I continue to make an effort in the editing process to be more engaging, and then like I pretty much when I get off my ass and do more to make this better in the post-production area, I'm sure we'll kick up. There's things that I'll talk about later on off recording about business stuff with the channel. But in other words, we hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. If you guys are on YouTube watching the vidcast version where you get to see us kind of goof off, wave, flip each other off. Fuck you, David.
Wow. I put the heart emoji out and I'm like,
you got
J
Dog down there, not J Dog from Hollywood Undead or J Dog the YouTuber or the other 16 J Dogs that you can find online. That's our J Dog, the original J Dog. The Jayest of dogs.
I was thinking.
Oh no.
I kind of like Mr. Retro.
Mr. Retro. Or
Mr.
is this the coin, or is this the birth?
Because you know me and retro shit. I love it.
We
I
know
breathe
you're
it.
old.
I live it.
Ladies
Still
and
to this
gentlemen, you
day.
are witnessing a new persona.
The birth of a come on,
I
David.
feel like
you
I
got-
just need to rip off my skin and shed and
You have to rip
turn into a
the
butterfly or
mask off.
something.
I still can't wait for Persona to hit Xbox.
Achievements, bitches.
Come on, David, you got to recite the oath. We have a new Persona dawning here, Mr. Retro. Do the oath.
I am thou, thou art I. Thou has.
This just shows how much he's played the game because I could not remember how it started.
I am thou. Thou art I. I don't remember the rest of the lyrics. Thou has unleashed the retro persona.
Yeah, I guess it would be the retro Persona. One thing I
Anyway.
want to start adding to the podcasts at the end, which I guess we'll start here with the birth of the new Persona. We're going to start with the birth of new segments. Everybody give one song to recommend at the end of the podcast. So Jada or Mr. Retro, we'll start with you, buddy. What is something you would recommend, sir?
One song that I can recommend right now and tell you to crank it up is The Air That I Breathe by All That Remains.
Oh, so you're doing a little sponsorship for the hat you was wearing? Is All That Remains the people you went to see a few weeks ago or a month ago?
Oh yeah. And one of the damn best metal concerts I've been to.
BossFoss, you got anything? You know what? With your new Persona, Mr. Retro, I already have a logo just built in my brain for it. Like I've always had a hard time imagining what to do as a logo for J-Dog because there's just so many different references to J-Dog. I didn't want to rip it off, but just Mr. Retro, I could think of so much.
Is that a good one? I kind of
That is a good
That's
one.
good, man.
It fits.
I just kind of thought of it. I
fits
was
you
thinking like retro
adequately.
dude, retro dad,
Retro
you know,
Dad.
something like that. But
Daddy
I think-
Retro.
Daddy
That's
Retro.
That's gonna be my nickname for you, Daddy Retro.
Yes, but no, I think Mr. Retro is pretty badass. I like it.
No, it's good, man.
Cool.
So
Cool, cool.
you're wanting a song from me?
Yep, give me one song.
All right. Well, I randomized my playlist and it selected a song from me, and it was 115 by Treyarch.
Okay, you going a little game
have to check
music
it out.
there.
Again, I randomized my Spotify because you literally just sprung this on us, and I had no song in mind. Next time, I will have a song in mind.
Also, I'm spacing stuff out so that way in my editing process, I can play a little tidbit of it. Is what I'm thinking.
Treyarch, love
Maybe.
us. We're gamers. We
Sponsor
play your games,
us.
we promise.
I have a Call of Duty Zombie Let's Plays on my channel, which you can check out at www.youtube.ryunneldred.com.
Oh, can I give one more?
Oh,
Sure.
one more song recommendation or one more URL?
Possibly.
Okay,
No,
yeah,
one more
yeah.
song recommendation.
You know what? You're the winner today, John. You get a special double recommendation,
All right. All right.
just like that double penetration at band camp.
Ooh. Never said it was double.
You had a flute and a trumpet.
A flute in my butt trumpet. Okay,
This is
so
why
one
you
more.
won.
If you like EDM, metal, pop, punk, all that kind of good shit. Let's see. It used to be Electric Callboy, but I believe it used to be Eskimo Callboy, but they changed their name to Electric Callboy. and it is Hypa Hypa. Great song. Great song. Turn it up.
All right. And for my song of the week, we're going to kick it old school and do a little rip off of David over there. I'm going to go with the old school Need for Speed Underground 2, Snoop Dogg featuring The Doors, Riders on the
Storm.
I have been listening to that song so much in this last week that it's been like stuck in my head. I even shared it in the group chat just to spread the infection. But thank you guys so much for listening and or watching. Again, you could catch our weekly podcast, The Drinking Corner, on any of your podcast listening apps, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. You can find it on the YouTube channel for the Nerdgasmic Goodfellas. You can find that at NERD. Wow, I am spacing on how to spell right now. And I also got distracted by freaking John's bottle fingers.
No,
I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm gonna break something.
Is that how many you've drunken since this started?
Yes, sir. Uno, dos, tres.
You can find the video version under Nerdgasmic Goodfellas. That's capital NERDGAZMIC, capital GOODFELLAS on YouTube. You can find my Let's Plays at Ryunn Eldred. That's capital RYUNN space capital ELDRED. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any one of my social medias. I will link all of that down in the description below, and anything else anybody else wants me to link in there. You can find some of our Let's Plays coming soon for the Nerdgasmic Goodfellas. We will see you in the next episode where we either do a Raw Thoughts or hang on.
I would like to plug my Twitch channel if I can.
Oh, verbally. Shit.
So with the discovery, because I swore up and down that I wasn't able to stream from my Xbox, apparently I am. You guys can find me starting to stream now at twitch.tv/THE_BOSS_FOSS. So twitch.tv/the_boss_foss.
But yeah, go ahead and hit us up over there. Follow us on all the social medias. I will be opening up a Reddit forum for the Drinking Corner, in which I will personally try to just talk about topics and gather up ideas from you, the listeners. You could leave topics that you want to see us discuss in any of these social media platforms. Follow us. We sometimes have interesting things going on in our life other than just work and trying to survive the current state of the world. We look forward to having you all in the next episode again when Mr. Retro hosts the next video. But goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.